Sorry. Welcome everybody to this week's Sunday Bahá'í Devotional. So wonderful to see everyone. Thank you for being here. And we are also live on Facebook as well. And so thank you in advance to all of our readers. As ever, we'll have a group of readers from those who are on the Zoom call. Thank you for that. Our topic today is what is faith? And what we're going to do is explore a little bit about this topic of faith. You know, we're living in very challenging times, both with the coronavirus and the call for racial justice, long overdue in policing and in all areas throughout American society, and really beyond American society, throughout the world, where there has long been, since colonialism, these threads of anti-Blackness especially, which the Baha'i faith, of course, rejects. Baha'u'llah in the mid-1800s referred to people of African descent as, and people, you know, brown people and Black people all throughout the world as the pupil of the eye. So raising the value of what they have to contribute to society to a very, very high level. So, but in this challenging time, one of the things that props up people, that people turn to in times of crisis, in times of challenge and difficulty and adversity, is of course faith. And so we're going to explore this idea of what is faith and what can it give you, what can it do for you? Because as Baha'u'llah says, we'll see in one of the readings today, the faith of God is dying out in every land. And we see that more and more people in America now are non-affiliated in their religion. And I've heard a number of Baha'is say, you know, there are a number of people who aren't sure about their belief in God, and many Baha'is will talk to atheists and agnostics and say, I don't believe in the same God you don't believe in. This idea of a very, paternalistic God that is focused on reward and punishment, and that is sort of capricious, and that, as we've seen in some sort of traditions and scriptures of the past. But Baha'is believe that a lot of these understandings of God are down to more the maturity of humanity. You know, when you're younger and your parent yells at you not to touch a hot stove or to run out in the street, you know, that's done out of love and compassion. And so now we've reached this stage in the development of humanity where our relationship with God is more mature. And so we're going to explore a little bit of that today. We're going to explore the idea of faith through the religions of the world, not just the Baha'i readings, but the scripture of the other great religious traditions as well, which Baha'is, of course, believe are all part of one and the same divine process, one and the same religion. As Baha'u'llah says, this is the changeless faith of God, eternal in the past, eternal in the future. So we'll go ahead and get started. I'll pull up our slides for today, and we'll have our musical selections as well as our readings. Bear with me one moment. All right, everybody see that okay? All right. All right, we will go ahead and get started. Bear with me. All right, so thank you again in advance for your to the readers. In the upper left-hand corner, as always, is where you'll see your name when it's your turn to read, and you can unmute yourself. If there's any trouble, then I'll go ahead and try to unmute you directly as well. And with that, we will go ahead and begin.
Ungulu ame, shabe Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Hebrews.
This is the book. There is no doubt in it. It is a guide for those who are mindful of God, who believe in the unseen, and are steadfast in prayer. Prophet Muhammad.
He who has faith has wisdom, who lives in self-harmony, whose faith is his life, and he who finds wisdom soon finds the peace supreme. Bhagavad Gita.
O my servant, free thyself from the fetters of this world, and loose thy soul from the prison of self. Seize thy chance, for it will come to thee no more. Baha'u'llah.
O thou kind Lord, grant that this youth may attain unto that which is the highest aspiration of the holy ones. Endow him with wings of thy strengthening grace, wings of detachment and divine aid. Whoa, that he may soar thereby into the atmosphere, that he may soar thereby into the atmosphere of thy tender mercy, of thy tender mercy, Lord, that he may soar thereby into the atmosphere. Be able to partake of thy celestial bestowals. May become a sign of divine guidance and a standard of the concourse on high. Thou art the potent, the powerful, the seeing, the hearing. Thou art the potent, the powerful, the seeing, the hearing. Whoa, that he may soar thereby into the atmosphere, that he may soar mercy, he may soar thereby into the atmosphere that we may soar. Thereby into the atmosphere may soar. Thereby into the atmosphere of thy tender mercy, of thy tender mercy, Lord, that he may soar. Thereby into the atmosphere, thereby into the atmosphere. Of thy tender mercy, Lord, of thy tender mercy, Lord, that he may soar, thereby into the atmosphere.
By thy perfect intelligence, O God, thou didst first create us, having bodies and a spiritual conscience, and by thy thought gave ourselves the power of thought, word, and deed, thus leaving us free to choose our faith at our own will. Zoroaster.
On life's journey, faith is nourishment. Virtuous deeds are a shelter. Wisdom is the light by day, and right mindfulness is the protection by night. If a man lives a pure life, nothing can destroy him. The Buddha.
O befriended stranger, the candle of thine heart is lighted by the hand of my power. Quench it not with the contrary winds of self and passion. The healer of all thine ills is remembrance of me. Forget it not. Make my love thy treasure and cherish it even as thy very sight and life. Baha'u'llah.
O my friend, thou art the day star of the heavens of my holiness. Let not the defilement of the world eclipse thy splendor. Rend asunder the veil of heedlessness, that from behind the clouds thou mayest emerge resplendent and array all things with the apparel of life. Baha'u'llah.
I send my heart unto thee, I repair for refuge. Toward all thy signs I send my heart. Oh Lord, work, I place my whole trust in thee. I place my whole trust in thee. Whether traveling or at home, in my occupation or in my work, I place my whole trust in thee. I place my whole trust in thee, trust in thee, oh Lord. Sufficing help so as to make me independent, independent of all things, independent, independent of all things. Unto thee I repair for refuge, toward all signs I set my heart. Unto thee I repair for refuge, toward all the signs I set my heart. Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord. Whether traveling or at home, in my occupation or in my work, I place my whole trust in thee. I place my whole trust in thee, trust in thee. Traveling or at home, in my occupation or in my work, I place my whole trust in thee. I place my whole trust in thee, trust in thee, oh Lord. 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 Trust in thee, trust in thee.
I am well aware, O my Lord, that I have been so carried away by the clear tokens of thy loving kindness, and so completely inebriated with the wine of thine utterance, that whatever I behold, I readily discover that it maketh thee known unto me, and it remindeth me of thy signs and thy tokens, and of thy testimonies. By thy glory, every time I lift up mine eyes unto thy heaven, I call to mind thy highness and thy loftiness, and thine incomparable glory and greatness. And every time I turn my gaze to thine earth, I am made to recognize the evidences of thy power and the tokens of thy bounty. And when I behold the sea, I find that it speaketh to me of thy majesty and of the potency of thy might, and of thy sovereignty and thy grandeur. And at whatever time I contemplate the mountains, I am led to discover the ensigns of thy victory and the standards of thine omnipotence. Baha'u'llah.
I swear by thy might, O thou in whose grasp are the reins of all mankind and the destinies of the nations. I am so inflamed by my love for thee and so inebriated with the wine of thy oneness that I can hear from the whisper of the winds the sound of thy glorification and praise, and can recognize in the murmur of the waters the voice that hath proclaimeth thy virtues and thine attributes, and can apprehend from the rustling of the leaves the mysteries that have been irrevocably ordained by thee in thy realm.
Dr. Cyrus.
Sorry. The vitality of man's belief in God is dying out in every land. Nothing short of his wholesome medicine can ever restore it. The corrosion of ungodliness easing into the vitals of human society. What else but the elixir of his potent revelation can cleanse and revive it? The Word of God alone can claim the distinction of being endowed with the capacity required from so great and far-reaching change. Baha'u'llah.
It is not sufficient for a believer merely to accept and observe the teachings. He should, in addition, cultivate the sense of spirituality, which he can acquire chiefly by means of prayer. The Baha'i faith, like all other divine religions, is thus fundamentally mystic in character. Its chief goal is the development of the individual and society through the acquisition of spiritual virtues and powers. It is the soul of man which has first to be fed. And this spiritual nourishment, prayer can best provide. Shogi Effendi.
Be assured, if you arise to serve, the beloved Master says, nothing shall be impossible to you if you have faith. As ye have faith, so shall your powers and blessings be. Bahia Hanum.
To walk where there is no path, to breathe where there is no air, to see where there is no light. This is faith, this is faith, this is faith. To cry out in the silence, the silence of the night, and hearing no echo, believe and believe and believe again. This is faith, this is faith, this is faith. This is faith, this is faith, this is faith. To hold pebbles and sigils, to raise sticks and see forests, to smile with weeping eyes. Oh, this is faith, this is faith, this is faith. This is faith, this is faith, this is faith. This is faith, this is faith, this is faith. To say, God, I believe, when others deny. I hear when there is no answer. I see, though not as seen. No, this is faith, this is faith, this is faith. This is faith, this is faith, this is faith. And the fierce love in our heart This is faith. 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 Oh, this is faith. 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 This is faith.
Thank you, friends. That brings us to the end of our prepared music and readings today. This is one bonus reading since there are so many people in the country and around the world right now that are challenged with health. Dear friends, I hope all is well with you and that you are as healthy in body as you are strong in spirit. That's from 3 John chapter 1, verse 2. So with that, we'll go ahead and conclude our prepared material, and we'll open up for our music, prayers, reflections, questions. And Daniel Smith, you look like you're ready to roll. And so I will turn it over to you for the music, as you always give us so powerfully. So thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Can you hear me good? Yeah?
All
Awesome.
good.
So, I played a bunch of songs by Jason Mraz before. We've listened to him some. He came out with a new album last week. And sometimes when he has new music, I feel like he's an undercover Baha'i, because some of these songs they just make so much sense with what we teach each week. So yeah, I'm gonna play the title song from the album, "Look for the Good." So album, and you can listen to it later. But yeah, here we go. Look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good in everyone. Look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good in everyone. People done gone crazy. People done gone mad. People done forgot the superpowers we all have. We were born to love, not hate. We can't hide our fate and look for the good in everyone and celebrate all our mistakes. If there's a silver lining, you still have to find it, find it, find it. Look good in everything. Look for the people who set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good in everyone. Everyone needs sunshine. Everyone needs rain. Everyone is carrying around some kind of pain. I see who you are. You're just like me. I see your soul for a purpose, guided by it. I'm just like you. I get lost sometimes and I forget what I came here to do. I keep on trying. When it gets frightening, look for the good everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible till it's done. Look for good in everyone. everyone is God. Everyone love and light and vibration. Look for the good. Look for the good. Everyone gets mad sometimes, and maybe they should look for the good. Look for the good. Yeah, look out for all the heroes in your neighborhood. Look for the good. Look for the good. Life sure would be sweeter if everybody would. Look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good in everyone. Look for the good in everything. Look for the people who will set your soul free. It always seems impossible until it's done. Look for the good. Look for the good. Look for the good in everyone. Thank you, guys. You guys are the people who help set my soul free. Finding you guys. So thank you for that. All right. That's all I got today. I didn't want to play two.
Great stuff, Daniel. Thank you so much. What a great song. And there are definitely some relentless optimists in this crowd. I think of Dr. Cyrus, who always sees the good in everybody. So it reminds me of a lot of people in this community. So thank you. I see that Deb, you have your hand up. We'll go to you. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
So from the book Reciting the Verses of God, there's today's reading. If I could share that with everyone.
Please.
It's on detachment. This is not a cause which may be made a plaything for your idle fancies, nor is it a field for the foolish and faint of heart. By God, this is the arena of insight and detachment, of vision and upliftment, where none may spur on their charges, save the valiant horsemen of the merciful, who have severed all attachment to the world of being, from the Kataviaktas. And I don't know if this is going to work or not, but at the risk of possibly being kicked out of this this devotional for going forward, I'm going to show you something that's a family thing. It's actually video of Jason and son karate chopping fruit.
I'm starting to get worried. Let's not do that one. That one might actually get you kicked out. That's true. Oh, there it is. Yeah. That's a game called Fruit Ninja. Yeah.
If you notice Jason's form, he's very, very good.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Mom, for coming to embarrass me. Much appreciated.
There's something you do at the very end of it. It only lasts a minute. I know for sure I'm going to be kicked out of here. But
there might be a technical difficulty and you get dropped from the meeting. And so if that happens, I apologize. You know, the technology, you just never know what can happen these days.
I'm impressed with your form, though. Really. Okay, just watch what he does.
Oh, the bow. Yeah, of course.
All done.
Oh, goodness. Well, Dr. Cyrus, I see you have your hand up. I'll unmute you. There you go.
Jason, first of all, I wanted to thank you for choosing this subject, because without this, without faith, we will be completely lost. And reading from the Baha'i writings, I always think of ourselves as cars on a train, and the faith is the invisible railroad that we may not be aware of it, but it takes us where we need to go instead of wandering hopelessly and faithlessly in the world. And I think, unfortunately, the world is, and that's why we are here, and our task is really to help those to accept to get on this railroad of faith. And when you caught me napping before it was my turn and I was looking for something, I was going to ask you to play that song that you played, the poem by the Ruhiya Khanum, wife of Shoghi Effendi, and she wrote that song when she was so hopeless after suddenly losing her husband, the guardian of the Baha'i faith. So that actually is also a sustainer, because this is an average human being. It's not a word of God, but it is telling us what this really means. And the last thing I was going to say, I also posted it on LouisvilleBaha'i.org. There is an article by a Baha'i scholar discussing the constructive resilience. And constructive resilience simply is what the Baha'i community in Iran has done over 175 years of relentless persecution, killing and pillage and imprisonment, taking away everything, destroying their cemeteries, you name it. And this has been intensified over the past 40 years. Yet, with faith and under the direction of the Universal House of Justice, which actually I think it's part of our faith, to remain under the institution of the covenant. This community has won more friends in Iran than the government is trying to find enemies for them. It's transforming the whole Iranian society and the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cyrus. Yes, and thank you for reminding us to remember the friends of Iran in our prayers always. Also the friends in Yemen right now under relentless persecution and imprisonment, torture. Let's remember, all of them in our prayers as the persecutions have intensified, unfortunately, in recent months. Other friends that would like to share some thoughts or reflections, prayer, questions, open up. The topic, this is faith, or what is faith, again, was chosen because of such challenging times we live in, and how people have always turned to faith, their faith in Creator and the universe, and however you'd like to describe it. Of course, it's described as God, genderless God in Baha'i terms, unknowable essence. But this has given strength to people for countless generations, and we're the ancestors of all of those people. We're the spiritual ancestors of all of those faiths, of all of those peoples, of every color, of every nationality, of every geography. The Baha'i faith views itself as the inheritors of all of those legacies. I think that's a beautiful and very comforting thing during times like this. I'm just talking a little bit, waiting for somebody to raise their hand. Mostly, we're almost out of time. But if anybody has any final remarks, go ahead, Nancy, please.
I once heard a woman from another religion speak of blind faith, and to her, it was like, well, you just got to believe. It's not really based on anything. You just got to believe. And to me, faith is based on something, because my belief in Baha'u'llah and what I have seen prove true from his teachings gives me faith in the things that I can't understand. But it's not blind faith. It's like in the physical world, if you experienced running out in the street and getting hit by a car, you know not to do that. If you experience touching a hot stove, you know not to do that. If your parents have told you not to run out in the street and not to touch the hot stove, you're more likely to believe them when they tell you not to do something else, even though you may not have experienced it and you may not understand it. That is not blind faith. That is educated faith. So the faith we have in the teachings of Baha'u'llah, there will be some things we do not understand, but there will be things that we have experienced, and therefore we will have faith in things that we do not understand. And to me, that is faith.
Wow, thank you, Nancy. So true. So many people describe faith and Baha'i faith as very logical, very natural, very common sense. Yeah. Jerusha, you have your hand up. You go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say the quote that Dr. Cyrus read about the lack of religion in the world today and how nothing but the power of God could ever actually change that was really powerful, because so much of what we're going through feels so hopeless, and especially faith. Not for me personally. I think we all have our individual journeys with that concept of faith, which is really a big concept. But a lot of people that I know don't have religion and don't have that kind of faith, I guess. And that's always been the case. I'm sure all of us have that in our lives. And it feels overwhelming sometimes, you know, even when the Baha'i faith gives me direction and comfort, I worry for all of the people I know who don't have access to that in any way because of their refusal, I guess, to accept religion, because religion has become so almost like a, you know, just no. We have a friend spending the night, and I showed him the song that we were playing at first. He said, well, my family is not religious. We don't belong to any religion. And I have another friend of my other son who like adamantly like gets offended by religion, you know? And so it's just, I just want to thank you for selecting that, because I think that's a really powerful quote. And I also really appreciated the one by Zoroaster, which was so, you know, old, but so wise, and just saying we have the free will, you know, to decide. And that hopefully God is guiding us all on this. We're all on the tracks, even if we don't know what it's called. Okay, that's what I wanted to say.
Thank you, Jerusha. Dr. Cyrus.
So just following what Jerusha said, and she always speaks with her soul and also with passion, reminded me of the word faith in its original language, which is Arabic, means iman. Iman is the root of a series of words, one of which is amniyat, means security. So the faith and security are really linked with each other. The faithful feels secure in what he or she believes and what he and she does. And the ones without faith, and again, as I said before, they are really lost in the wilderness and I think we really only have, unfortunately, religious leaders of the past who created a God that it is so revolting that, as Jason said in the beginning, we should say to those folks, the God that you do not believe in, we don't believe in him either. But let's study together what Baha'u'llah has said.
Beautiful. Thank you, Dr. Cyrus.
May I speak?
Yes, please. Neferu,
Okay.
so good to see you.
Okay, thank you. I was listening to, I think her name Paris. But anyway, the lady that spoke about faith, and Nancy and Dr. Cyrus. Good morning to everybody, first of all.
Oh, she's muted.
Oh no, we lost
Thank
your,
you for
your
Dr.
audio.
Cyrus for explaining the original word of faith. I think a lot of the leaders and the people over time and different cultures have taken faith to mean a particular religion or a particular, belief system, if you will. And I can see how faith and security can be together. Faith, I prefer not, for me personally, I prefer to use not the word faith, except in the sense of knowing, knowledge and security. This age of, now I get a little bit off to the left field, but this age of Pisces, which I call the age of fog and sand, because it was then, we were taught to have faith, blind faith, and just believe. That's what's going to save you. Your faith is going to save you. You should be saved by your faith. And that messed us up a lot of times. And sometimes, I guess when people are suffering, so the only thing they can do is hold on to a hope and to a faith that everything is going to be okay. But this time of knowledge is when I look back in history and knowing that some kind of way everything is going, we are guided by a hand that's unseen. Those of us who are God connected or good connected. And if we hold on to that, sometimes we get lost in our connection to the body, to the physical, and we lose our love and our comfort and stand in the physical. We can lose track. Now, and I'm not saying we shouldn't take care of the physical, okay? That's a gift, that's a vehicle. But when you step back and look at things, sometimes when someone passes away that we dearly love, we end up getting some blessings. We don't understand how it happened, So there are two worlds. One world we're not taught about because we don't know about that much. It's done on faith, but it's gone. I love the connection with the ancestors. Someone mentioned as well, and all the ancestors are working on our behalf. This is a time when things have been uncovered, truth has been uncovered, facts have been. It's more important this time for facts to be known, to correct the errors of the past. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, Neferu, you got muted for a second there. Let me make sure we get you on. Can you hit your unmute button, Neferu? I think there we go.
Did you hear me?
Oh, now we can hear you again. You just got muted for a moment there.
My sister, I just found out my sister had a stroke, so I'm going to sign off right now. The family's calling.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for your wisdom, Neferu.
Thank you.
Okay, friends. Well, I know we're a little bit over time, so we'll go ahead and wrap up. And thank you all. I would love it if I think it would be wonderful if we could end with a prayer for healing, as well as a prayer perhaps for the friends in Iran and in Yemen. Yes, thank you, Dr. Cyrus. Do we have anyone who would be willing to do a closing prayer? with those friends in mind, especially, and of course, everyone who's needs healing right now, of which there's many in our nation and worldwide.
I'd like to sing a prayer of healing.
Thank you, Chuck.
Thy name is my healing, oh my God, and remembrance of thee is my remedy. Nearness to thee is my hope, and love for thee is my companion. Thy mercy to me is my healing, and my succor in both this world and the world to come. Thou verily art the all-bountiful, the all-knowing, the all-knowing, the all-knowing, the all-wise.
Wonderful. Thank you, Chuck. And thank you, everyone, for being here. And we'll see you next Sunday at the same time, 11 a.m. Next Saturday, when we would normally have our Interfaith Paths to Peace devotional, Saturday mornings at 9 a.m., there will not be one this Saturday because of the July 4th holiday. So IPP is taking a well-deserved break for the week. And so that devotional will be back the following week. And otherwise, as always, you can find more about the online activities on our website, LouisvilleBaha'i.org, as well as on our Facebook page, Louisville Bahá'ís. So thank you all, and we'll see you soon. I'll unmute the mics, and we can do our goodbyes.
Thank you, Jason. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you. Bye.
Hello, Fabia.
Bye, honey.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.